Thank you for joining me today. Today is an opportunity to celebrate life and life renewed. It's a day to celebrate the lives of people who've been saved and whose lives have been enhanced by organ donation, and to honor donors who have made the ultimate gift. It is also an opportunity, most importantly, to raise public awareness of the importance of registering as an organ donor. Massachusetts drivers can register as organ donors on their driver's licenses, as well as online through the Donate Life New England registry. This is very important to know. There are many people who are unaware of these programs, and what we're doing here today is really to let the word go forth that organ donation is vitally important, literally and figuratively, to millions of Americans and thousands of people here in Massachusetts. Registering as a donor can literally save the life of somebody who is desperately in need. More than 110,000 Americans, including 3,000 Massachusetts residents, right now are awaiting life-saving organ transplants that may not come in time, but for the donations of those, including some people in this room, who are willing to sign up as organ donors. Last year alone, organ donations saved 28,000 lives. Another 1 million people received tissue transplants that helped them recover from skin loss, bone damage, spinal cord injuries, burns, hearing impairment, and vision loss. This is a very important program. It's important that we highlight it so that people in the public can know literally that they're saving lives. And in a moment, I'm about to introduce a very special person, Jeff Preventure, whose life was saved by the donation of an organ, and he will tell you all about that in a moment. But the recipients are very real. They're getting an opportunity to live full lives, full long lives, by virtue of the volunteers who have made their organs available, just simply by signing up. So with that, it's my pleasure today to introduce Matt Boger, who's the representative from the New England Organ Bank, for his remarks and for some more detail about the program. Matt?
Thanks so much, Mayor, for this wonderful acknowledgement about the importance of the life-saving opportunity of registering to be an organ and tissue donor. I also want to thank the City Council for being here to support this as well, and the individuals today who have been affected by organ and tissue donation. I also want to recognize the RMV for their wonderful work. Each and every day they ask the question, would you like to register to become an organ and tissue donor? Rachel Caprillion, the head of the RMV, has been a wonderful supporter and honestly a leader in the country, and I want to appreciate your support, Nora, and the registrars. 99.8% of all people who register to become organ donors do so at the RMV. It's a very important relationship that we have, but I do want to thank the mayor for identifying that anyone can register to become an organ donor any day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at donatelifenewengland.org. This is an opportunity for you to say, if I no longer need those organs, someone else can have them. And as the mayor also said, there's individuals here today who've been personally touched by donation and the wonderful opportunity that they have to save a life. There are many great causes out there. Research, trying to find cures to diseases. Organ donation is the only issue that we know what the cure is, and the cure is the ability to register more donors so that there's more opportunities to save them. We're also the only question that's asked in every 50 states at a state agency, the DMV, or here in Massachusetts, RMV. The federal government, the state government encourages and makes it as easy as possible to register to become an organ donor. It is an individual's choice to become a donor, but that being said, it is not a neutral issue. As I said, it is greatly supported by the state and federal government. Mayor, once again, I really thank you for your time and the importance of bringing attention to this important issue, encouraging people to register when they go to the RMV and or online at donatelifenewengland.org, and I want to thank the City Council as well. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Matt. And let me now recognize City Council President Steve Martins, who has a city citation to present today and to present some remarks. I also want to recognize Ward 3 Councilor Henry Bousquet, who's standing right beside me too, and thank you for your support as well, Henry. And let me also thank State Registrar Rachel Caprillion, who is enhanced this program to the point where we're adding many, many people to the roles of organ donors, and the registry plays such a vital role in this process. City Council President Martins, please.
Thank you, Mayor Mitchell. First of all, it's an honor to be here with all of you on the National Donate Life Month for the month of April, and bringing awareness for the dire need of organ donors, not only here in the city of New Bedford and our state, but also across the country. And just a fact that even though there's 100 million people who are on the national registry of donors, there's still over 113,000 people in our country, and that includes adults and children, who are still in need of a transplant, that are still on the waiting list. In fact, Matt made it very clear, and we spoke before, that it's going to be on cable access, so that this audio can continue to play in our city, to make sure that anyone who is looking to be a donor, in fact, anyone can be a donor, no matter of age or medical history or race, that you can certainly just go to your registry and just sign up to become an organ donor. And as we said the facts before, that even though there is 100 million people on that list, there's still a big need for more donors. And we certainly, the mayor and this council, who you heard today, encourage that everyone registers and continue to save a life, as you hear the many stories across our city. And I take credit for this, but I can't. The chief, who we were having a conversation with before this press conference, reminded me that someone in our city who died last year, who spent about 5 years as a city firefighter, passed away due to an automobile accident. And the chief reminded me that Eric, who spent his years of protecting and also saving people's life in our city, was an organ donor. And even though, as Matt and the mayor said, we all know at least someone that has been touched by an organ donor. And Eric certainly, even though has passed away, spent his years on the city's force as a firefighter, protecting people and saving people's life, that even though he passed away, he can still be on that list and also save someone else's life. So I just wanted to make a note of that. And I know the mayor also has a proclamation for National Donate Life Month, but I want to present this on behalf of the mayor also and the city council. The New Bedford City Council official resolution, be hereby known to all that the City Council in New Bedford, Massachusetts hereby offers its sincerest congratulations to New England Organ Bank and Donate Life New England in recognition of proclaiming April as Donate Life Month. The entire citizenry extends its very best wishes on this memorable occasion and expresses the hope for continued good fortune. It's given this day of April 18th. It's signed by myself, Ward 3 City Councilor Henry Bousquet, and given the best wishes by the entire New Bedford City Council. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Mayor?
Thank you. Thanks, Steve. And as I said earlier, those who have benefited from the organ donation program and programs are very real people. Some of them are young people who, through no fault of their own, have become stricken with illnesses that threaten their lives. And only through the donations of volunteers, regular folks who've signed up for the program, have they been able to get literally a second lease on life, a chance to live a full and happy life. One of those people is here today. Jeff Preventure is a young man who born and raised in New Bedford and who had that second chance. And it's my pleasure to introduce Jeff here, and we're so pleased that you've been able to, that you're still here with us, frankly, Jeff. And it would take a couple of minutes to tell your story so everybody can hear the kinds of benefits that, the kind of benefit, the kind of gift that you got. That would be wonderful. Thanks.
Good morning. I'd like to thank the mayor for asking me to come speak today to share my story about my transplant that I received in 2007 when I was 17 years old. I became very sick, and I was playing golf. I had to stop playing because I could no longer walk or breathe, and I ended up going to the emergency room, and that day they took x-rays, and told us that my lungs were completely filled with fluid, which is why I couldn't breathe. And I was then med-flighted to Boston, where they told me that my heart was about twice its normal size and not working to its full capacity, about 25% at that point. And from there, I was at Children's Hospital for about 10 days when they decided that a better place for me to be would be at Brigham and Women's, where they could better treat me and diagnose and help, because the medicine was just not working at Children's Hospital. But once I got to Brigham and Women's Hospital, they told me a couple of days after that I was going to be put onto the transplant list for a heart problem, and less than a week later, I was already in the operating room receiving a heart from someone that I didn't know who it was. I had no idea what was going on, and finally, the day I woke up after the surgery, I felt completely better. I could breathe, and then as soon as I could get out of bed, I was out of bed. And a week later, they told me I could go home, which was the fastest they said that they had ever seen anyone go home and recover from this. And it only took me about 6 months later, when I was actually in school, that I felt up to playing a sport again, and I ended up being a starter on the volleyball team at school. And it showed myself that I was finally back to normal, and I didn't ever think that I was going to be back to normal when I first started at the hospital, but then I ended up being back to normal, and I'm still 5 years later today. I'm here, and I plan to stay that way. Thank you.
Jeff, thanks a lot for that story. Jeff is now a cadet on the police department, and this is, I can't add anything to Jeff's words. I mean, his experience he just related to all of us, I think, speaks volumes about the kind of gifts that we're talking about today. Let me close the program again by thanking everyone, and again encouraging everyone to sign up as organ donors. And let me just end also with a proclamation that I won't read in its entirety, but actually I will read it. It won't take too long. So this is an organ, this is presented to the New England Organ Bank, and let me read it. It says, whereas there are more than 112,500 Americans with more than 4,500 in New England and more than 2,800 in Massachusetts who are currently waiting for a life-saving organ transplant, and whereas there are over 1 million life-enhancing tissue transplants each year that are made possible by the generous donation of corneas, bones, skin, and other tissues, and whereas we can all help to save someone's life and benefit up to 50 recipients by signing up to become an organ and tissue donor by enrolling in the Massachusetts Donor Registry when we apply for or renew our driver's license, or by registering online. And whereas Massachusetts is home to pioneering efforts of many of the world's first organ transplant surgeons, it is fitting that Massachusetts continue its unique leadership role and join in the national goal of signing up 50% of our driving population to become organ donors, and is dedicated to making it fast and easy to sign up to save a life through the Registry of Motor Vehicles. And whereas this observance pays tribute to organ and tissue donors and their families whose decision to donate life enables others to receive life-saving organs and tissue transplants, I therefore, as Mayor of New Bedford, do hereby proclaim April to be Donate Life Month, signed this day. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. Thank you, especially Jeff, for sharing your story.